All right, number 17. A sports car accelerates from rest to 95 kilometers an hour in 4.3 seconds. What is the average acceleration? Okay, it says that we are accelerating from rest, so you should know that that means 0. So we are starting at 0 meters per second, and then sometime later, we are going at 95 kilometers an hour. Now, the first thing I notice is that my units are not the same. We'll have to take care of that in just a second. The last piece of information we have here is that the time is going to be 4.3 seconds. We should remind ourselves of what is our definition of acceleration. Well, our basic definition of acceleration is the change in velocity divided by the time. So you should know this definition. This is not really a formula. This is our basic definition of acceleration. So you should know this for your test. Okay, if we're going to look at average acceleration, then we're just going to take the final minus the initial velocity and divide it by time. But first we have to take care of our units. So any time that we see non-standard units, unless you know you're not going to need to convert, you should convert right away automatically. So I'm going to set up some conversion factors here. I know I'm going to need 2, one for the time, one for the distance. And I know that my target here is meters per second. So step 1 of the conversion factor, make your units cancel. So I'm going to go for changing this hours first. I want to change this hours to seconds. Okay, the first thing I have to do is make it cancel. So put it in the top, it's going to cancel. Step number 2, make it physically equal to 1. So 1 hour, what is 1 hour the same as? Well, if we're going to do seconds, you could do this in 2 steps. I've done this so many times. I know that 60 minutes are in an hour, and I know that there's 60 seconds in a minute. So I can go straight to seconds, but you can do it in two parts if that's too difficult. Okay, the next thing I'm going to go for is the kilometers. So I need to make kilometers cancel. So I'm going to put kilometers on bottom. And now again, I need to make it physically equal to 1. So how do I make it equal to 1? Well, I make the top and the bottom the same thing, and then they divide out to 1. So 1 kilometer, what is that physically equal to? That is equal to 1,000 meters. So now that is going to leave me with meters on top and seconds on bottom. So now I can go into my calculator and type in 95 divided by 3600 times 1,000, and I get about 26.4 meters per second. Okay, so now I have everything I need. So now I have my final velocity. Subtract it from my initial, which is 0, so really don't have to do anything, divided by our time. And these units up here are going to be in meters per second, and the units down here are going to be in seconds. That is going to give us a unit of acceleration, meters per second. And if we put 26.4 divided by 4.3 into our calculator and we round, you get about 6.1 meters per second squared. Okay.